Hi, I'm James and welcome to Trade in the Market. This is our Soccer Summary Episode 2, where we will be covering some of this week's games. We are a non-profit channel and make nothing from any affiliations, no training courses and nothing to sell. So please consider subscribing, it's free and you can always change your mind. So let's get into it. This week we will be looking at the following games. Wednesday's matches will be Burnley vs Watford and Arsenal vs West Ham. For Thursday we will cover the Liverpool vs Newcastle game along with Chelsea vs Everton, leading us on to Friday and to see what stats Mark has on the Barnsley vs West Brom game. Saturday see Aston Villa take on Burnley, the derby of Morecambe and Fleetwood along with Atalanta and Roma. Sunday's summary will cover Tottenham vs Liverpool. We finish off the roundup with Tuesday's match with Sevilla defending their form against Barcelona. In last week's video, Mark explained that Blackburn were overpriced at 5.6 on the exchange and they went on to win. We trade on this information and provide it for you to do the same. We have a lot to cover, so let's get on with it. First up, we have Burnley vs Watford. This is going to be a battle with both teams sitting at the wrong end of the table. Burnley in 18th and Watford in 17th, and a 2-point gap between them. Looking at the match odds for this one, Burnley are the favourites by a margin. The draw odds, as you can see, are not much beyond a Watford win, so laying a draw from the off may be a good shout. Correct score odds being low and under 2.5 goals odds being evenly matched for over/under, I would advise seeing out the first half hour of the game before diving into this one. For the first time today, let's head over to our resident football statman Mark.
If Burnley win, they would overtake Watford in the table, and it would be Watford's 5th consecutive defeat. Burnley have conceded at least one goal in 5 of their 7 home matches, with a whopping 29% of their goals scored in the first 15 minutes of the game. Watford have scored an average of 1.31 goals a game since the start of the season, but an average of 1.75 in the last 8. With an average scored and conceded total goals for Burnley at 2.29 and Watford at 3.13, giving an in-game average of 2.71 combined. I suspect to see the over 2.5 in play here.
Next of Wednesday's games is Arsenal vs West Ham. This is very similar to the Burnley vs Watford match odds / correct score and under and over odds, suggesting the market is unsure of which way this could play out. West Ham have been in pretty decent form this season and superseding expectations, whilst Arsenal will definitely be looking to take home advantage in this derby, so I would definitely be looking at the over 2.5 goals in this one. Over to Mark.
So far this season, Arsenal have picked up 2.38 points on average in the last 8 home games, while West Ham have picked up an average of 1.75 in the last 8 away games. In the last 8 games, Arsenal have picked up 15 points with West Ham close behind on 14. Arsenal second in the home form table with West Ham 4th in the away table. It's all to play for in this London derby.
We have 2 games for Thursday. First up is Liverpool vs Newcastle United. Liverpool are firm favourites for this game. The match odds definitely agree with this. As always with Liverpool, there will be goals, but if you're a brave person, then backing the under 2.5 goals from the kick-off could be a way to go. But I wouldn't be in a trade for long on this one though. Mark, your thoughts?
Sadly, Newcastle are bottom of the form table for conceding goals, with 34 goals conceded against them in 16 games. Added with the 3 points they picked up in the 8 away games, it's not looking good for them against Liverpool, who have scored 45 goals in 16 games, which tops the form table on goals scored, and have taken 18 points from 8 home games. 50% of Newcastle's away games have been 1-0 down by half time, and the majority of Liverpool's first halves at home have been 1-0 up.
Next up we have Chelsea vs Everton. Chelsea are the outright favourites for this fixture. I expect goals going off the previous fixtures for both sides, so I would be advising the over goals markets for this fixture, providing you can get a good price. Mark?
Chelsea sit 3rd in the form table from the last 8 games, while Everton sit at the bottom of the form table with just 4 points from 8 matches. Chelsea has scored in the last 10 matches, with scoring the opening goal in 13 of the 16 games. 80% of Everton games have been over 1.5 goals, with Chelsea seeing a massive 88% of their games being over 1.5 goals also.
We're looking at one game from Friday's fixture. This is Barnsley vs West Bromwich Albion in the English Championship division, with West Brom sitting in 3rd spot and Barnsley sat 2nd from bottom in 23rd. West Brom are the favourites for this fixture. I will be looking at laying the draw for this one, and also a possible over 2.5 goal trade with West Brom flying high and Barnsley being in a poor form. Anything for us, Mark?
Barnsley have averaged 0.82 points from their home games so far this season, with West Brom taking an average of 1.36 points from their away games. West Brom fighting for that second spot and Barnsley fending off the relegation drop, but failing to win in their last 6 matches and conceding at least 1 goal in 9 out of 11 matches is not looking bright for them.
Right, now we have 3 games to look at for Saturday's fixtures. First of the 3 is Aston Villa versus Burnley, the clash of the Clarets. Burnley are in a poor run of form, which leaves Villa as the favourites in the match odd prices. The over goals markets would be where I would be looking at in this game, and a possible trade on both teams to score, no. Back to Mark.
Aston Villa have scored in each of their 8 home matches, with 68% of Villa's points coming from home, with 76% of the goals they score this season being in the second half. Burnley have failed to win in their last 8 matches away.
Next, we have Morecambe versus Fleetwood. Both teams are conceding goals at an alarming rate. The match odds are very close for this fixture. On the day of the game, I will be looking at the goals market as I feel there will be goals, but at the time of recording this, we cannot see any goals market. Let's head over to Mark.
Morecambe have conceded 44 goals in 21 games and Fleetwood have let 40 in the same amount of games, putting them 23rd and 24th in the table of goals conceded. This is a Foul Coast derby game, so anything goes. Fleetwood have conceded at least 1 goal in each of the last 10 away matches. This has both teams to score all over it.
The last of Saturday's games is Atalanta versus Roma. Atalanta are in 3rd place and Roma sit in 8th position. Roma are playing pragmatic football under Jose Mourinho, but don't think that they will be taking this lying down. Atalanta are the match favourites and are in very good form, and always play an attacking brand of football. This should be a good game, and the only winner I could pick at this point is the fans, as this will make a very entertaining game. Over 2.5 goals would be my go-to market for this game. Over to Mark.
The form from the last 8 games sees Atalanta in top spot with a total of 22 points from the 8, and Roma in 13th with a total of 10 points achieved. This is down to Atalanta being undefeated in their last 10 matches, but Roma have scored in 6 of the last 8 away matches. If you held a gun to my head and asked me to pick a scoreline, I would say the game will finish 2-1 Atalanta.
One game for Sunday is Tottenham versus Liverpool. All I can see here is a Liverpool win. Both teams are respectively high in the form table, but I think it could be tough for Liverpool performing in front of the Spurs crowd. The over 2.5 goals market is where I would lay my hat for this. Maybe a cheeky scalp of the 0-0 correct score, or even possible a both teams to score yes trade. Let's head to Statman Mark.
Liverpool sit 2nd in the form table over the last 8 games behind Manchester City, but Tottenham sit in a respectable 4th place with only 3 points separating them, which comes down to 1 point when you look at the season form for home and away. Interestingly, Liverpool's games have had an average of 11.13 corners, and Tottenham have had an average of 11 corners. This would be a market I will be looking at.
Now, the last fixture for this week's instalment of the Soccer Summary is Sevilla versus Barcelona. A potential cracker of a game as Barcelona are in need of the points to climb the table, currently sitting in 8th, and Sevilla are in good form and have a home advantage and are currently 2nd in La Liga, 8 points behind Real Madrid with a game in hand. This, for me, has lay the draw written all over it, and for the last time today, it's over to Mark.
Although Sevilla have scored in each of the last 9 matches, a massive 69% of their games have been under 2.5 goals, while Barcelona have scored 2 or more goals from the last 3 away matches. It's over and unders market, I'll be on this. Well, that's it for this week's Soccer Summary. Thanks to the people who contacted us to tell us how you traded on last week's games, and to those who shared in the profit we made from the Blackburn game. Please leave a comment on this video if there is a game the following week you want an in-depth roundup on, or some stats for a specific market. We try our best to look at all. We have lots of videos coming up, so make sure you keep a check on the channel. You can do this by subscribing and turning on notifications. There's nothing left to say other than see you here next Wednesday for next week's Soccer Summary, episode 3, and be sure to let us know how you got on with this week. We're all trading the market. Until next time, happy trading.